Jason Todd is the second Robin, but in the Arkham games, he went through hell. There was so much that happened to him during his life in the Arkham games that made his life miserable, a nightmare. What the Joker was willing to do, what the Joker put him through, careless about Jason Todd's well-being. Today's video is about the tragic life of Jason Todd in the Arkham games. Jason Todd was just living his life, being Robin, and then he gets trapped by the Joker in Arkham Asylum, and he ends up being tortured for just about 2 years, being put through so much suffering, his life being made like hell, Joker having the worst intentions and wanting Jason's life to be terrible, wanting Jason to feel like there was almost like no point of him, having any hope. For 2 years, Jason Todd was just put through so many terrible things. Joker was paying people to torture Jason. He even had other villains like Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, Scarecrow, and more help with the torturing of Jason Todd. Joker wanted Jason to be a shadow of his former self, to be nothing. Jason Todd, you have to imagine how he was feeling, what he was thinking. I mean, he was told by the Joker that Batman, he gave up on him. Batman had a new Robin, which was Tim Drake, and that he pretty much just forgot about him. What do you think Jason Todd was thinking about the new Robin? He probably had so much hate for Tim Drake because he really believed after a while. I mean, the Joker really was just tricking him and trying to lie to him for so long that he ended up making Jason believe him. And Jason must have just had such bad intentions and just was so angry about Tim Drake being the new Robin. He probably felt jealous and probably couldn't believe that Batman would do this, because this seems like the exact opposite of Batman. Batman's always very loyal to all of his allies and especially, members of the Bat family. So him turning against Jason must have made Jason just so surprised and would have made Jason so against Batman. Jason going through all these terrible things and having to experience the torturing for so long, just, helpless, and he was trapped. His mental state was brought down so much. You have to think that it makes sense that when he comes back as the Arkham Knight, he doesn't really have full control of his emotions, and he's so reckless and wild in a way. You can feel his hate, but at the same time, you can feel his pain. The position he was in is one of the worst positions you can find yourself in. Being trapped, going through torturing and suffering by villains, being, all controlled by the Joker, who is the craziest and one of the most evilest villains of them all, who also at the same time is incredibly intelligent and a genius. Jason Todd the whole time must have just been hoping Batman would save him, but Batman never ended up coming and saving him. Someone he thought he could count on, he looked up to. Joker just had the worst intentions possible. He wanted Jason to feel as terrible as possible. He wanted Jason to be broken. When Jason came back as the Arkham Knight, he pretty much was left broken, just like Joker probably wanted. Joker would have wanted Jason to come back mentally unstable against Batman. Jason managed to escape the torturing when, during Arkham Asylum, Joker was fighting Batman, and there was so much chaos going on. He finally managed to escape that hell, all of the suffering he finally left behind. It must have made him feel so happy, but at the same time made him serious about his goal, serious about wanting to get revenge against Batman. When he escaped, he encountered Deathstroke, who was sent by Joker to end Jason Todd's life. But he makes a deal with Deathstroke. Deathstroke takes the deal, and they both escape together, leaving in a helicopter. Jason pays Deathstroke by stealing from Batman, aka Bruce Wayne. After this point, pretty much Jason Todd must have just been, as we have already seen, just watching over Batman and his new Robin, Tim Drake, during Arkham City, coming up with his plan, and also still being allies in a way with Deathstroke and Scarecrow, making, some sort of relationship with Scarecrow at this point as well. Joker lied to Batman, telling him that he ended Jason's life. And we see in Arkham Knight all the torturing Joker puts Jason through, and Batman, he's watching all of it. And Jason might think that Batman's against him now, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Batman, he can't stand watching Jason suffer. He hates knowing that Jason thinks this, and he wishes that Jason never had any of this happen to him. But of course, what can Batman do now? This was the past. Batman tries to get Jason to come back and understand that Joker lied to him and that Batman did not betray him. But Jason has a very hard time forgiving Batman, still has something against Batman for not saving him. This was all a game for the Joker. This was all so fun for him. This is how Joker gets enjoyment. I'm guessing that he probably didn't just have so much built up anger towards Batman, but also Tim Drake, which you can understand Jason having, but also at the same time is just so unfair to Tim. He had nothing to do with this. Tim Drake didn't have any bad intentions. He didn't know what was going on with Jason. He was trying to be good. He was trying to be the next Robin, and of course was probably trying to do his best job. But unfortunately, it really must have affected Jason terribly, which I'm guessing would have made Jason want to do something terrible to Tim Drake. He might have had, I would have guessed, a plan to do what Joker did to him to Tim Drake, because Tim Drake was the next Robin. So I feel like there's a good chance he wanted to make Tim Drake go through exactly what he went through as Robin. The 2 years of suffering, all of the torture, all of the physical and mental pain, all of the different emotions, and the way Jason felt, feeling hopeless, feeling like he had nothing to live for, probably would have rather had his life end than continue living on, going through everything he was experiencing. Finally coming to the conclusion and realizing that Batman was never going to come save him, and that this was just Joker's game, and Joker was so evil that he would just continue no matter what, and all he wanted was to make Jason left hopeless and like a broken version of himself. Joker hates Robin because Robin, he in a way gets between him and Batman, and Joker wants Batman all for himself. Joker's obsessed with Batman. So this in a way was so enjoyable and satisfying for Joker, even because of that. Jason was Robin. Jason was the thing getting between him and Batman. He was gonna make Jason pay for it. Jason, being the one experiencing all of this when it was happening, it probably felt so much longer than it actually was. And every day that went by, every hour that went by, he was probably wanting his life just to end. Now, when he thinks back about everything that he went through, he can't forget it. He probably thought that his life was over for sure, and now wants to do everything in his power to make sure the people responsible don't get away with this, to make sure the people that could have helped him and that could have stopped him from going through all this suffering, deal with the consequences. Jason Todd's character makes perfect sense, because if anybody else was in the same situation as Jason, would be left feeling very similar, feeling so much anger, out of control, mentally broken. Your life's goal would be to never let anything like that happen to you again. Never be left feeling trapped and hopeless with your life in other people's hands, living the worst possible life. It says so much about the Joker, because this isn't even the worst thing the Joker has ever done. So it shows how evil and just how far the Joker is willing to go, how dangerous the Joker is. Of course, at the end of Arkham Knight, Jason Todd is now the Red Hood, and he actually saves Batman from Scarecrow and helps Batman beat Scarecrow. Even though we didn't get to see much of him at the end of Arkham Knight, it showed that Jason, he did the right thing, and he was able, at the end of the day, not to let Joker win, not to let Joker stop him from helping Batman, stop him from forgiving Batman, and leave him forever a completely broken and finished individual who would never be the same again, who would never have a meaningful life again. Let me know in the comments, do you think that Jason Todd's life is the most tragic in all of the Arkham games? Is Jason Todd one of your favorite characters? Is Jason Todd your favorite Robin? And do you think that Joker went so far because Jason Todd was Robin? Or do you think that Joker would have went this far no matter who it was? Who's another character you think that had a life that's as tragic as Jason's in the Arkham games? Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in another Cosmic Chaos video. Bye!